Hey everybody, I'm David Libden, speaker, trainer, coach of Applied Resources and Knowledge. You know, ultimately, we're on this planet, we're here on Earth for God's purpose and by His purpose, and ultimately to be transformed into the likeness, a greater likeness of His Son, Jesus Christ. Check out what Ephesians chapter 1, verse 11 says. It's in Christ that we find out who we are and what we're living for. The overall purpose He is working out in everything and everyone. You know, the world seems to make way for that person who knows where he or she is going, doesn't it? What often looks like obstacles that stand in the way of our making progress towards our destiny is really an absence or lack of clarity. I want you to picture yourself, and maybe this has happened to you before. I know it's happened to me more than once, more than I care to admit. But imagine standing in your kitchen and you're trying to figure out what in the world you're going to have for dinner. So you start opening the cupboards and you're looking through, and all of a sudden you get a hold of a box of pasta. And now you have an idea, and next thing you know, you look at the box and you're going, pasta, sounds good. Next thing you know, you're starting to look for some spaghetti sauce, and then you look in the freezer and you pull out some chicken, and then you look in the bottom drawers, you know, where you keep all the veggies and that sort of thing, and you're grabbing some broccoli or whatever, some veggies to kind of balance out the meal, right? The point being is that it wasn't until your mind zeroed in on something, an idea, something specific, that it could begin to work its process on. Well, as you can imagine, ultimately you have a delicious meal that's sitting in front of your family or for yourself. But it wasn't until your mind was able to zero in on something specific. Many of you have had this experience before, and that is you've prepared a holiday meal, whether it's a Thanksgiving meal or a Christmas meal, and you've planned out the menu. You've planned out how things are going to go in your mind. You've planned out the big turkey that's going to be coming out of the oven, and it's on this beautiful platter, and it's surrounded by all these garnishes, and then you've got this big salad that you've put together, and the mashed potatoes and the gravy and the cranberry sauce, the apple pie, the pumpkin pie, and the list goes on, right? And so you've also imagined the people gathering around the table, friends and family that may have come from different parts of the country. And you imagine the laughter and the stories that they're going to tell. And you imagine how warm it feels around that table. All of this is going on in your mind. And the event hasn't taken place. In fact, the event isn't going to take place yet for several days, maybe weeks down the road. And then the day comes when you're putting all of this together, and the people come together, and things happen exactly how you imagine them in your mind. God has given us these marvelous brains that we have, and our brains have what's known as a reticular activating system. It's the mind's mechanism that allows us to focus in on whatever it is that we're in pursuit of, whatever it is that we're seeking. And the more vivid, the more clear and specific our minds can zero in on, the more effective our reticular activating systems are. Let me give you an example. When I was out in the market for a Honda Element, I did all this research. I was looking at the features and its capabilities, and it was the perfect vehicle for us because we like to go out camping and that sort of thing. Plus we have a dog, and we like to bring them around on our trips, and it's the perfect pet owner's vehicle. Well, after having done all this research and obsessed on this whole purchase, as I started looking for this vehicle, I'm driving around in my other car, and lo and behold, everywhere I'm driving, I'm seeing this Honda Element. And it's not like all of a sudden everybody bought these Honda Elements to show me, hey, look at my Honda Element, look what you have to look forward to. It was really a matter of now my mind started to notice these vehicles as I'm driving around. I remember one time, within an hour's time, as I'm driving along, I must have seen 6 or 8 Honda Elements on my trip. And I'm like, where did all these vehicles come from? You know, years ago I also envisioned working from home, and here I am producing this video message. But prior to that, I envisioned, the type of equipment that I was going to need, the software, the recording equipment, the camera, and so forth, when I would be recording these video messages, under what circumstances, what topics. And here I am, years later, producing a video, working from my home and getting my messages out there to you. I am realizing part of my destiny as I envisioned it years ago. So my question to you is, what's your compelling future look like? What's your destiny look like? How will you know that you've arrived, that you're actually realizing it? What will it look like? Who are the people that are going to be involved as you realize your destiny? Where will you be? What kind of person will you have become? What I'd like for you to do is I want you to take 10 minutes or more. Take 10 or 15 minutes, and I want you to take a piece of paper and I want you to write down what your vision will look like. What does your compelling future look like? Take 10 minutes right now to do that. Now, there are some of you out there that are watching this video message and you're saying, David, I'm not very clear about what my destiny is. I'm not sure what my future holds. And obviously, at the end of the day, no one really knows what their future holds, but we do have this ability to imagine what life could be like. And so for those of you who aren't clear on your destiny, here's something I challenge you with. And that is, perhaps there were milestone events that took place in your life in the past, and you're going, this meant something to me. Or perhaps it was a certain job, or maybe it was even a volunteer situation, or maybe someone in your life served as a mentor and they picked up on something about you that you didn't know, and you kind of bookmark that mentally, and you're going, that is true about me. And there are certain things where you feel like, man, I feel like this is what I was made to do. Or maybe you're involved in these situations where you just seem to come alive and you're really engaged and you feel like you're in this zone. Or perhaps it was an event that really impacted your life, or it was a cause, and you're trying to figure out, how can I make a contribution to this cause to really make a difference, a positive difference in this cause? Clarity is power. We'll talk more about your destiny in the coming sessions. In the meantime, apply knowledge to move your needle of progress. Talk to you soon.